My grandfather was a very quiet man. He was a WWII combat veteran. I learned from a young age not to ask him questions about the war, because he would sometimes get angry, but would usually just walk away. It was not something he was willing to discuss. The only information I got about his time in the service came from my grandmother. She said his best friend had been killed in front of him, and it changed him. He had captured the German soldier who had killed his friend, and he was a sadistic bastard who taunted my grandfather about what he was going to do to him when he got away. While my grandfather was trying to radio for help, the German soldier had gotten out of the hand ties and was running toward him, and so he shot him once in the head. After hearing this story, I completely understood why he never wanted to discuss this. Cut to 40 years later, my mother and I were staying with my grandparents for a few months. One evening, my mother was at work and my grandmother had gone to play bingo. I asked my grandfather if he was okay with me having a few friends over. He was fine with that. He had a room in the basement that he slept in, and anytime we had company, he would usually stay down there, as to not have to be social. My friends got there, and one of them had brought a Ouija board. We thought it was just a dumb game, so we thought it would be a fun scare. We set it up at the kitchen table that was right at the top of the basement stairs. We turned off the lights and lit a few candles around the table. We started out by messing around and laughing while each of us were obviously moving it around to try to freak the others out. All of a sudden, the glass piece went very stiff, like someone had pushed it down so no one could move it. We all looked at each other confused and a little frightened at that point. My friend asked the first question, "Is there anyone who is with us?" Slowly, the glass went to, "Yes." "What is your name?" Heinrich. Chach. That was weird. "Who names their kid Heinrich?" "How did you die?" LEEWTF. That doesn't make any sense. "How did you die?" LEE. A hair on my arms was standing straight up, and we were all looking at each other, wondering if the other was doing this. My grandfather, who was right downstairs, name is Lee. Then all of a sudden the glass started moving without any question being asked. It seemed like random letters, and we couldn't understand what was happening. We realized after a while it was repeating the same 8 letters over and over again. Fikik DIKH WTF is it saying? We were all mesmerized by what was happening. Each time it got a little faster. I heard my grandfather walking up the stairs, but we were really transfixed, trying to figure out what it was saying. My grandfather stood at the top of the stairs and just watched what was happening for a minute. Then the next round after the 8 letters, it started adding LEE at the end. So now it was repeating, Fick Ditch Lee. I looked up at my grandfather and he had gone completely white. "What is this saying, Grandpa?" "It's saying, fuck you, Lee, in German." We all pulled our hands off at the same time, terrified, and the glass piece spun off the table. As we all sat there in stunned silence, my grandfather with a shaky voice asked, "What all did that thing say?" I told him that it had said his name when I asked how he died, and that his name was Heinrich. Once again, my grandfather went completely white. He grabbed the board and took off out the back door. We followed him out and watched him as he put it on the burn pile and poured gasoline on it and lit it on fire. We stood there